Welcome to today's City Council meeting. Today, January 26, 2026. And I now call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
District 1, Councilmember Casey.
Present.
District 2, Councilmember Vieira.
Here.
District 3, Councilmember Otero.
Here.
District 4, Vice Mayor Martinez.
Present.
Mayor Lopez.
Here. And because the pastor had an emergency, we will now have Justin do the invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Laney. Please stand.
Good evening, City of Ceres. Thank you first to to Mayor Lopez. We hope that everything is okay with Pastor Stokel. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for one more day of life. And thank you for giving us an opportunity to come together with our peers to make our cities, our state, our country, and our world a better place for your people. This evening, Lord, we ask for your guidance and wisdom as our elected leaders prepare to do the work of the citizens of Ceres. We ask that you provide us all the patience to listen, strong discernment as decisions are made, and your grace as we seek grace from others. Above all else, we ask that our hearts and minds be aligned with your will, so that all in the great city of Ceres and all who may come through can prosper and find joy. We pray for and thank you for our service members at home and abroad, as well as those who have graciously served our nation through the generations. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Okay, Laney, you want to step up to the podium? Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Moving on to citizens' communications. While the City Council welcomes and encourages participation in the City Council meeting, adopted rules allow no more than 5 minutes. Resolution 2007-106 for expression of non-agenda items. Matters under the jurisdiction of the City Council and not on posted agenda may be addressed by the general public. However, California law prohibits the City Council from taking any action on any matter which is not on the posted agenda, unless it is determined to be an emergency by the City Council. Citizens are entitled to address the City Council on any agenda item subject to the 5-minute provision. Anyone wishing to address City Council must adhere to the rules of decorum, and the rules of decorum are posted outside the chamber doors. And we'll begin with our representatives.
All right. Good evening, city residents and council. Justin Farkas, representing the Office of Assemblyman Juan Alanis, coming to give a rather extensive legislative update here. We've been quite busy in Sacramento with the start of the new year, starting with some new committees and appointments that the Assemblyman has received. He has been appointed as caucus chair for the Republican caucus in the California State Assembly, putting him second in command of the Republican side of the aisle up there, just behind our counterpart, Assemblyman Heath Flora, who also represents this county and is the Republican leader, the minority leader in the state assembly. So carrying a lot of power on that side of the aisle here in Stanislaus. Assemblyman Alanis has also been appointed as co-chair for the Problem Solvers Caucus, putting him as the leader for the Republicans within the Problem Solvers Caucus, which does a lot of work on behalf of the California residents. In terms of our committees, we were removed from the Budget Committee, but we were added to the Water, Parks, and Wildlife Committee. He has also been removed as vice chair from the Agriculture and Natural Resources Committee, but he will be staying on both of those committees, and in return has received the vice chairmanship of the Labor and Employment Committee, which is going to be extremely vital as we work with our labor partners here in the state of California and in our district. He's still the vice chairman of Public Safety, and he remains on the Business and Professions Committee, as well as the Public Employment and Retirement Committee. We've had 3 bills move so far through the House from last year. Assembly Bill 333, which refers to recycling and expanding the use of recycling funds to include other projects than just making new recycled bottles. That bill has unfortunately been held on suspense in the Assembly Appropriations Committee. However, Assembly Bill 767, which will reclassify SVP placements in our state to include discernment for daycares and homeschools. If you guys have been keeping track of the SVP placement issue that's happening just outside of Turlock, that issue really sparked this legislation because there's a number of homeschools and daycares in close proximity to the potential placement of that sexually violent predator. The final one will be Assembly Bill 277, and that will expand background checks for behavioral technicians and behavioral health centers for minors. So think like the Kindle Center in Modesto dealing with mild to severe children with autism. It will expand the background checks taking place for future employees of institutions like that. The introduction deadline for new legislation is February 20th, so we will have a number of new bills coming forward throughout the remainder of the month and going into next month. I'll be sure to keep you informed on those. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Justin. Is there any other representatives here? Seeing none, open it up to any comments from the public. Please step up to the podium.
Good evening. My name is Jorge Guerrero, and I'm with Sirius Youth Baseball. I'm here because we've been going through the remodeling or the installation of the new lights. I want to thank the council for going through with the situation and everybody who has been involved, Joey and Mike Beltran. Everybody who has been involved has been great. I'm here not to complain to you guys or to say that you guys have done anything wrong. I'm here just to be on the record. Like I've been on talking to Joey. I met with Joey and Mike Beltran a couple of weeks ago. I talked to Serena one day at the fields as well, and Mayor Lopez and Councilwoman Rosalinda last week. The situation with the lights is not the way that it should have gone. Field 3, anything that was done on Field 3 was or could have been done on Field 3 was going to improve it because it was really, really, really bad. But the other 3 fields were not bad. The other 3 fields were in good condition. They had good lights, and now they're bad. As I was coming right now, I explained this to Mayor Lopez when I met him last week, the technology that they use, I feel, or we feel that they didn't use enough lights because of the ways that they are set up. They're in an angle that when the players are playing, you can see the light in your eyes. And that's a safety issue for the kids. I've had some kids that yes, they go and catch the ball, but I have had some kids that they're running to catch the ball. They're like, oh, I lost it. They completely stop. The ball falls in front of them. And I was giving this example to Mayor Lopez. He coaches at Central Valley High School, his kids play at Sirius High. As I was coming right now from my house, going the overpass, if you look to Sirius High, they have the same concept of lights that are flat, pointing straight to the ground. And you don't see the light glaring to anybody or towards the street, away from the fields. They're pointing straight down to the field. You look towards Costa Fields, and you can see a few of those lights pointing away from the field. And that is the issue that we were seeing, that because of the angle that they installed those lights, the glaring in the kids' eyes, it's a safety issue. So we just wanted to be on the record. Not sure where the city and TID and everybody involved is with the payment to this company, but want to make sure that you guys understand that the job is not done properly Another example that I gave you guys when we've been talking is that when you hire somebody to do remodeling in your house, you expect it to be better, not to be the same or worse than it was. And unfortunately, with all the money that the city and TID invested on this, those fields are not better. Those fields are worse. There are 3 fields that are completely worse than they were before. Yes, the lights and the spots that they are pointed, yes, they are bright. And that's the comment that we have had, that some areas are really bright, but there are some areas that are really dark and some areas where the kids are getting glare in their eyes. They're getting blinded. They have to turn away. Field 1, kids cannot warm up right now. If you go and when you were there, if you notice, the kids were warming up in the infield, because the outfield, that is usually when they warm up as they get into the practice, is dark. I understand that we're gonna you guys are gonna do the tree pruning, but part of that field doesn't have anything to do with the trees that are in the left field side of the field, which is the gate, the other gate that comes into the park. So that's the only reason why we were here, or why I'm here, because I wanted to leave it on record on a council meeting so that you guys understand. I appreciate everything that you guys have done for us. I just hope that you guys continue to look after that so that this company comes through with what they promised. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next person.
Ismael Ontiveros. I am the VP of Baseball, along with Jorge for Series Youth Baseball. And I'm now in my 33rd year of coaching youth baseball. And when you coach that long, you tend to notice or see things when they're off, whether it be bases or the pitcher's mound, fence, fair foul lines. And I can tell you that as soon as I walked up the first time when the lights were completely redone, I knew something was wrong. And we right away noticed, the parents right away were commenting. There were a lot of comments. As I stood here last year, and I know there were some issues with the reallocation of our funds from Field 3, and we were, going through that whole thing. And then somebody mentioned that it's because you guys wanted to do all the lights. And I stood up here and I said, look, we don't need all the lights done. We just need Field 3 done because it's a safety hazard. But we do appreciate the effort in trying to do all the fields, but I think we've taken a step backwards. And I've been coaching out there specifically here in Ceres for the last 15 years, and it's really difficult. So what the company did is they came out, and myself and Coach Jorge were out there. We met with them, and they said they're going to try to adjust some of the lights to compensate for a lot of the dark spots. If you see some of our original pictures, you can see dark spots in the middle of the outfield, even in the middle of the infield. They lifted some of those lights up, which is what Coach Jorge was mentioning. When they lifted those lights up, now it's causing blind, like if you look at an LED light, it'll blind you. And I've had several incidents, specifically one with my third baseman, where he almost got hit in the face because he literally turned at the last second when the light was right in his face. So we're concerned. Right now, we're just starting practices, and it is a rec league, but we do have competitive elite teams going out there using high strength bats, USSSA bats. And we know if you're in the game of baseball, you know that these bats, the ball comes off super fast. And we're a little bit, we're afraid of what's going to happen during some of these tournaments. Rec ball, we might be okay with it. But once these tournaments start getting played and we start hosting some of these tournaments, we can see some major issues happening. And because of that lifting of those lights, I'm telling you, and that's why Coach Jorge and I, we didn't want to come in here to kick up dust. We're very thankful for the effort that the city council has done with TID and everything else, but we're afraid. We're actually very nervous, and we're getting a lot of feedback. I had tryouts just the other day with the 12s and the under 12s and under 10s, and some of the comments that I was hearing, and my wife being on the side, she was part of the check-in process. She was hearing a lot of parents and some of these other new coaches commenting on the lack of lights. So we're just here to get on record. And I know, Mayor, you were out there the other day, and we appreciate it. I just want it to be an ongoing effort to try to improve, either by adding more lights. We were there when the company flew the drone, and maybe they underestimated what was needed, but we're definitely in some deep water here with these lights. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else? Anybody on Zoom?
There are no hands raised and there were no emails received.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on from citizens' communications. Is there any conflict of interest from the council? Seeing none. Moving on to appointments to boards and commissions. Planning Commission interview and appointments. Fallon?
Thank you. Good evening, council. Tonight, we have our Planning Commission interviews. We conducted a recruitment. We had 2 applications. We have a gentleman, one of the applicants is here in the audience. At 5:54, we did receive an email this evening from the other applicant stating that he would not be here due to a family emergency. He did request if he could reschedule his interview once things stabilize on his end. So that will be something the council can discuss and decide upon. But we also have Mr. Bob Goebel in the audience to do his interview for the Planning Commission.
Thank you very much. I'll bring this back to the council at the council's discretion. If we would like to continue these interviews with the applicant that's here in person, or would like to reschedule this application process, I would like to hear everybody's opinion and go from there. Vice Mayor Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Unfortunately, I think the lack of the time of the notification, right? You said 54, so 15 minutes ago, they let us know they couldn't be here. Mr. Goebel is here this evening, so I feel strongly that we should continue. I know when we did subcommittees in the past, if an applicant missed or wasn't able to attend, we continued those interviews. We went right along with the appointment process that way. So I would support go ahead and interviewing Bob and continuing with the process this evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martinez. Councilwoman Otero.
Thank you, Mayor. I have to agree with Vice Mayor Martinez. At this time, based on the current Planning Commission vacancy, I'd like to move forward with the interviews. I apologize to the applicant who couldn't make it, but the timing of how these interviews are scheduled and the vacancies that need to be filled won't allow us to continue that interview for him.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Vieira.
Thank you, Mayor. I do have to concur with everyone else, or the other 2, Councilors Otero, Martinez. I do think that we need to continue. We can't have a vacancy and being here. I think he needs to resolve whatever emergency he had, which is unfortunate, and I wish the best for the family and the situation. And once that resolves, maybe he can reapply for a future applicant or opening.
Thank you very much, Council. And I will agree with all of you as well. I do really appreciate the applicant putting in his application. It is very unfortunate, but 15 minutes prior to the meeting, as a notification is not sufficient. Mr. Casey, would you like to add anything, or would you like us to continue with the application process?
Continue.
Thank you very much. Good call. Okay. Mr. Robert, would you please step to the podium? We have several questions to ask you, sir. Thank you for joining us. As the council well knows, you have a document in front of you, and we have question number 1 to Councilmember Casey. Go ahead, sir.
Bob, what do you feel are your most important qualifications for the appointment to the Planning Commission?
As far as that goes, I have 20 plus years in the construction industry, working and running construction companies. I'm very familiar with all phases of construction, from roadways to housing. As far as community and public service experience, I have 2 years. I was on the San Leandro PD Reserve for 2 years. I've been a Series Lions for over 13 years, and I'm past president. And I've done other various services and contributions to the city. I've also lived in the city now for 32 years. I'm retired, and it's time for me to give back what the city has given me.
Thank you. So, I guess you answered the second question already. I have a question that's not really on here. And
Unfortunately, Mr. Casey, we have to stick to the questions.
okay,
And there is a second.
thank you very much.
Mr. Casey, there is a second part to that question, right? Mr. Casey?
But he answered
Yeah,
it.
okay, thank you very much. Just want to make sure. Okay, second question goes to Councilwoman Vieira.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for coming in and joining and submitting your application. Would you be able to make a recommendation on a project that was not popular with the majority of the audience members in attendance?
I have a lot of experience with that, dealing with unions. I've been on both sides, business side of it and employee side of it. And I was never one of the more popular people on the board and doing contracts for employees and for the businesses. So I have absolutely no problem doing recommendations if it's not a popular.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Otero.
Thank you. Thank you for being here today. In your opinion, should all commercial buildings look the same, or should they have some distinct and recognizable characteristics?
I think they should, to a point, be the same, but at the same time have a distinct and recognizable characteristic, like something small, not big, something that blends in, but still distinctive to the business itself.
Thank you. Fourth question goes to Vice Mayor Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Bob, what do you hope to accomplish during your time serving on the Planning Commission?
I'm hoping to accomplish having my decisions empower the city and its citizens. I think I have a good head on my shoulders to vote what's right for the city as well as the people of City of Ceres.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Which of the following statements would you most likely associate with and why? When the economy improves, the city should continue to build new single-family homes. Or when the economy improves, the city should continue to build new single-family homes, but at a higher density to preserve farmland.
I think when the economy improves, cities should continue to build new single-family homes. The reason is, if you look at the new homes nowadays and they're doing the densities to preserve land and so forth, you have no room anymore to have your own home. They're building them with no backyards, no front yards. You're almost touching the next house next to you. And it looks more apartment-ish than an actual home. And I think it would be easier to sell newer homes with more land than having them back to back, close to close.
Thank you very much. If you could end with the closing statement, and then we will bring it back to the council.
What's that?
Could you go ahead and give us a closing statement?
Well, I'd just like to thank the mayor and the council members for giving me this opportunity. Like I said, I've lived in the city here for 32 years. I've seen it grow. And I think I have a good handle on construction part as well as running businesses. And I would be happy to do a great job for the city.
Thank you very much. Please have a seat. We're getting ready to delegate here. Council, any comments and or questions? Vice Mayor Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to quote two things I heard him say this evening that I truly appreciated and liked. In answer to Councilmember Casey's question, he said that he wanted to give back what the city has given him since he's lived here. I really respected that. And then in answer to my question, he said that he wanted to make sure that his decisions improved and empowered the citizens and the city. So those are definitely some things I can get behind and I appreciate hearing.
Thank you. Councilmember Casey?
Sure, Mr. Mayor, unfortunately, I wasn't part of making up the question, so but my question in general to any person applying for the job on the Planning Commission, as a Planning Commissioner, they had the opportunity to review their responsibilities and understanding what their job is, and oftentimes that was going to be my question, but I wasn't allowed to ask it. So that's it. Does he really understand the duties as they are outlined in our municipal code? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Otero?
Thank you. I just want to thank you again for being present today. I do appreciate the responses that you gave, and I have to echo what Vice Mayor Martinez said when you mentioned empowering others in our community. I really appreciate that. So thank you for stepping up and setting that example.
Just want to thank you very much for showing up here today, and I think that you will be very valuable on the Planning Commission as our city continues to grow. Now we'll bring this item back for a motion.
Mayor, you'll want to open this up to public comment.
My fault. I will now open it up to the public. Any members of the public would like to make a comment on this item? Now is this time. Anybody on Zoom?
There are no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, I'll bring this item back for a motion.
I'll make a motion to appoint Robert Goebel to the Planning Commission.
I'll second that.
Get a roll call.
Councilmember Casey?
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira?
Yes.
Councilmember Otero?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Martinez?
Aye.
Mayor Lopez?
Yes, congratulations, sir.
Motion
Round of
carries
applause.
5-0.
Before we move on to the consent calendar, item number 5 is being pulled by staff and will not be considered. All matters listed on the consent calendar are considered routine in nature and will be enacted by a single motion unless otherwise requested by an individual council member or public for special consideration. Otherwise, the recommendation of staff will be accepted and acted upon by a roll call vote. Is there anyone in the council who would like to pull a consent item? Councilwoman Otero.
I'll pull item number 6, please.
Any other council members? Mr. Casey? Okay.
Number 7.
Number 7. Any members of the public that would like to pull any items other than 6 and 7? Everybody online?
There are no hands raised online.
Bring this item back.
Make a motion to approve items 1 through 4 of the consent calendar.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Casey?
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira?
Yes.
Councilmember Otero?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Martinez?
Aye.
Mayor Lopez?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
And we'll start off with item number 6.
Thank you, Mayor. So in looking at this item, it looks pretty simple. Our Ceres SWAT Association wants to transfer ownership to Ceres Police Department or the City of Ceres of the Ford F-150. And this is an item that I do support, but I do want to express some thoughts and concerns. I am very grateful to the Ceres SWAT Association for their diligence in raising the funds and take the initiative to purchase a vehicle. They know that it's essential to accomplishing their mission and keeping our community safe. However, when I first saw this item, it was disappointing that our city can't afford to fund a critical public safety vehicle. The men and women of these associations shouldn't have to worry about raising funds for high costs for their mission essential equipment, such as vehicles. The police department does require numerous resources and tools to keep the community and officers safe, and these must be planned for. For example, take-home vehicles. Those are critical to the response times of our SWAT team and detectives. There are some questions that I think we need to keep in mind going forward. What is our long-term plan when additional vehicles are needed? Are we prepared for future replacements and expansion of the police department fleet? We should not be relying on our employee associations to purchase high-ticket items. Officers shouldn't have to worry if the city is going to fund essential equipment. It doesn't seem there's a proactive approach to planning for large purchases or necessary investments into the public safety resources. and our chief should not have to bear the stress of securing basic operational equipment for his team. As everyone knows, we're in an era where law enforcement must be properly equipped to respond to day-to-day calls or critical incidents. And vehicles are essential service requirement to our community. Overall, a purchase such as this by an association, it's not a long-term solution, and the association shouldn't be relied upon for these type of purchases. The item does completely highlight the need for improved planning, an updated strategic plan, better forecasted budget, so that way we can ensure the police department has the resources it needs to serve and protect effectively. Again, I do support this item, and I'm willing to make a motion to accept item number 6, authorizing the city manager to accept the donation of a fully outfitted Ford F-150 truck for police department SWAT operations and to complete the transfer ownership from Ceres PD to the city of Ceres.
Chief, do you have any comments?
Thank you. I know that the SWAT team and their donators are happy that their association money is going towards some critical item like this truck. But I also know that they worry a little bit that it's a handout, not a hand up. And what I mean by that is that the city then relies on the associations for these vehicles. I know that's a worry of theirs, but in their presentation to me, they said this is a needed piece of equipment that we want to give to the city. We are working on a 3-year strategic plan for just our fleet in general, so that moving forward, we do have a good idea of what we're going to need to replace and what the city can afford. So our priorities will be listed out, and you'll hopefully see that this next budget and in the following budgets.
Thank you, Chief. I do appreciate that. Any members of the audience would like to make a comment? Anybody on Zoom?
There are no hands raised on Zoom.
I'll bring this item back for any comments, questions, or a motion. Mr. Martinez, do you have a comment, a question, or a motion?
Who's going to make a motion? I'll motion that we accept item number 6.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Casey,
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira,
Yes, and thank you, SWAT. I appreciate it.
Councilmember Otero,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Item number 7, Mr. Casey.
Yes, I'd like to hold off making the recommendation to cancel the February 23rd meeting until our first February meeting. There's items that could come up that might be important, particularly in the financial part, and it wouldn't hurt to wait until the first part of February to make that decision. Thank you.
City Manager, would you like to make a comment on this item?
Currently, all our staff reports are due 30 days in advance. And so nothing right now is coming up. If it was to come up, it would be placed on the March 9th agenda. And as the staff report says, I'll be out of the country. Our city attorney will be out of the country. And so we don't have anything scheduled at this time on that agenda.
Thank you, City Manager. Any members of the public who would like to make a comment or question on this item?
John Warren, City of Ceres. Good evening, council members, and thank you. I don't think any of our city council meetings between now and the time the budget is adopted for the coming year should be canceled. I know things can be planned out, like the city manager said, into the March 9th meeting, but that just makes the March 9th meeting a longer meeting. And so every meeting is critical as we move forward in this planning this new budget year, and every opportunity for the public to attend and participate and hear what's going on should take place. It's understanding that people do make travel plans or are called away from city business, but there are other people available to replace them and be in their stead. And that's why we have backup positions and things like that. So I would recommend that the meeting take place as planned, so you don't have to overload the next meeting or two. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. Anybody else like to make a comment? Seeing none. Anybody online?
No hands raised.
Bring this item back for comments and questions. Councilmember Otero.
I feel that recently, due to the holidays, we did have a couple council meetings. I understand, City Manager, you'll be out of the country. I think it's a great opportunity for someone that is in the acting city manager role to take the responsibility of being part of the meeting. Our attorney, I'm not sure if there's someone that can cover the time that you won't be available. I just do think there is business to discuss, and I would rather see that continue because we don't know when another holiday is going to hit where we do have to cancel a meeting or schedule a special meeting.
Thank you very much. Any other comments or questions by the council? Councilwoman Vieira.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess it's going to go to the city manager because, again, my concern is, again, which has already been stated by my other two fellow council members, is delaying any important stuff that needs to be addressed. I definitely don't want to put anything off. They said overloading agendas, and I definitely don't want to overload staff either or make them stay here longer than needed.
Oh, like I said before, we plan stuff out 30, 45, 60 days in advance. So right now we have nothing planned for the 26th. If you go ahead and have the council meeting, it will have registered demands, and that will be about it. Everything else has already been planned for March 9th, 16th, and we're going to have longer meetings going forward because we're going to be having budget meetings and a bunch of other items are going to be coming to the council. So long meetings are not going to be stopped. We're going to have them.
Okay, so just to confirm, as of now, because I know you prepare these weeks in advance or kind of have the staff reports prepared, there is nothing that will be on an agenda on that date if we did vote to move forward. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. City Manager, depending on the outcome, if we do wind up moving forward with the 23rd, just rest assured that while you are gone and city attorney, that we'll be in good hands.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any additional comments or questions? I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 7 of the consent calendar.
I'll second it.
Get a roll call, please.
Councilmember Casey,
No.
Councilmember Vieira,
If there's nothing on the agenda, that'll be a yes.
Councilmember Otero,
No.
Vice Mayor Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 3-2.
Thank you very much. Moving on to unfinished business. Item number 8, resolution approving the formation of the Military Appreciation Committee. This is for the Recreation Manager, Joseph Chavez, and please present the staff report.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Being here for the last 4 years, we did start our committee 4 years ago with appointment of members. We end up canceling it, I think, within a year and a half due to not agreeing who should go up and who shouldn't go up on the banners. Councilmember Otero wants to bring back the committee as a formation of a appreciation committee with the same members if they're willing to accept being on that appreciation thing. There's several other items we were talking about, not just with banners, but beautifying the city with fixing up the memorial on Whitmore, putting more flags up with all the military flags and fixing the memorial. So there'll be other projects and not just putting up military banners.
That is a report. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and open this up to the public. Is there any members of the public that would like to make a comment on this item?
John Warren, City of Ceres. Thank you again, council members. I think it's excellent idea to bring back the committee. I'm hoping that the members that were on it will think about stepping up and resitting their positions if that's what the council wants. We were under good hands with Joey being our spokesperson and lead person and bringing matters to the council for approval or not approval. But I am in favor, and I would think this would be a good thing for the community, especially considering some of the ideas around Whitmore Park and the memorial. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Is there any additional comments?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, and staff. May I ask who the members are, just out of curiosity? Who's on the?
Currently, there is no current members, but I recall that the past members, maybe Joey, you can elaborate who the past members were?
Yeah, so one member who recently passed was Freddie Morales, Mr. Warren, Mr. Yeakley, Mr. Otero was on the committee, and then
Officer King was on.
Samageto was on the committee also with myself.
And Officer King was also on.
And also Mr. Casey was our elected.
I would be happy to entertain a Project for Love series for this committee if it's reinstated, just to throw it out there.
Thank you very much. Any other members of the public would like to comment on this item? If not, anybody online?
There are no hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, we'll bring this item back to the council for discussion. I know since Serena brought this to our attention again, if you want to go ahead and start off the conversation.
Thank you, Mayor, and I do appreciate the council for giving consensus. Originally, when I asked for this to be brought back and to Joey for creating the staff report, as I mentioned previously, the committee is going to be more about a banner committee. The committee is going to help shape and make decisions for our city when it comes to honoring our veterans, our service members, and their families. The committee should be expected to actively participate in meetings and any activities pertaining to the committee. This also will ensure long-term planning and continuous feedback surrounding our veterans and their families. I think it's a great thing to have this again. When it comes to the committee members, I do agree that we should give the opportunity to the previous committee members, allow them to come back. I'm not sure what our maximum number should be. Joey might have an idea on that, but there may be others that are interested. And I look forward to the support on this committee. I would also like to recommend myself to be on the committee as the spouse of a veteran and Councilmember Casey.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Otero. I would be willing to support this item under the conditions that we go back out to applications and that we place this item on the continuing appointments that we have every year. I would suggest that we have 2 sitting council members, 2 members of the public, and Joey Chavez. That's what my recommendation would be. And in addition to that, I think that all the ideas that you have presented are great. I just don't want you guys to be limited. So I would rather that you guys have the ability to bring any recommendations to the city council for approval and not be limited to just the items that you proposed. So that way there might be an idea that a member might propose that's beyond the list.
Can I ask for clarification? When you say that, are you saying that any decisions that the committee wants to make, you want them to bring it to the council first?
That's how the committee was set up last time. So it's ratified by the city council. When we first brought to the banner program, the suggestions were made by the members of the committee to the city council, and we approved the locations. All the small intricates were fairly easy to approve, like as far as the design. We didn't get too much into the weeds, but some of these bigger decisions were ratified by the city council.
So when it comes to the decision making, I think if it's something that the committee wants to do that's over maybe like the $25,000 threshold, I think that would be reasonable. But when we have a committee in our city, we're selecting these committee members and trusting them to help make the decisions that they feel is best for the program that they are assisting with. I don't think it's necessary to bring it back to the council each time. I think that would defeat the purpose of the committee, and plus, it kind of just ties their hands a little bit. Those are my thoughts about that.
Thank you. Any additional comments? Councilmember Vieira?
Thank you, Mayor. Kind of mixed on this because I know there are other projects going on or other considerations that are going on that I think it's important that the committee stays in communication with the council because there are other projects going on that we're also working on, that we also communicate with each other, which is why I have comments at the end of every council meeting. So I do think reports do need to come to the council, including any funding, especially if they're using city funds. Then I definitely think it needs to come to council. If they're doing their own fundraising and stuff, then that might be a slightly different story. But if you're asking for any kind of city money and city staff, I think that needs to come to council for open transparency with the community and making sure the community also knows what's going on and how this is being used.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman, did you repress the button? Okay, go ahead.
So I think we just need to be careful with this because right now when we have, I'll just give you an example, the Christmas Festival Committee, at least last year, I didn't see anything come to the council for approval when it came to any decisions that were being made. I think that's why we have our city staff that is present with the committee and you have 2 council representatives. So I'm not sure, again, that it's necessary to bring back something every single time to the council, unless it's some, like I said, a high ticket item or something.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor Martinez.
Yeah, I just wanted to elaborate on that. Councilmember Otero, the Christmas Tree Committee is myself, Mayor Lopez, and Joey Chavez. It's not a citizens advisory committee, whereas this would be citizens from the community giving advice and being brought to the council. So the decisions were made by myself, the mayor, and Joey without citizen input. We open up meetings and we have input from them, but it was our decision for those committees. This would be you and Mr. Casey, which I would support you being on it, working with those citizens to bring items back to council. And I agree with Councilmember Vieira, just for transparency and for fiscal responsibility. I think things should be brought back to council for approval.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Casey.
Yeah, I guess I don't understand why this is an organization to try and help the veterans in our city accomplish, to help them do things. I understand clearly that we're going to spend serious taxpayer money. Those decisions need to come back and get approved. But if you don't trust your recreation director to guide us in the proper way, maybe we shouldn't have the committee. I don't know.
Thank you, Mr. Casey. So at this time, we want to make sure we give clear direction to the city clerk and either an explanation on how we want to move forward with this motion. Now, before I do that, we already went out to the public. I just want to double. Okay, we did. So I will go ahead and bring this back for a motion, but let's make sure we're specific because on these particular items, we have to make sure that we're specific to the T. And is there anything you would like to say?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I just had a thought. The way the resolution is drafted right now, it memorializes the committee is advisory. And so it makes recommendations and any final decisions, which would include fiscal decisions, would be at the council's direction. If a potential motion would be to approve the formation of the committee with an authorization of up to a certain amount of money to be exercised at the discretion of the committee. Again, I'm not saying that's a policy decision for the council, but for purposes of documenting the resolution, then I would recommend adding that to the motion because as it's drafted, it is purely advisory and any of those financial decisions would be ultimately made by the council.
Okay, I understand. So if in this motion, let's make sure that we are very specific on those items, but let's just make sure at this moment there's no actual funding available. When the suggestions come forward, obviously there will be an opportunity to discuss that. But I also want to make sure that in this motion, it does include going out to application for the application process. And when we bring this item back, we will then appoint the city council members And make sure that we add the two members of the public, the two council members, and Joey as part of the motion.
Do you want to get consensus on opening up to the public? Because I heard a few council members say bring back past committee members first. I'm in support of bringing back past committee members first as well.
You're in support of bringing past matter, okay? And you're in support, he was just saying as far as his motion.
Yeah, my motion would be to invite past committee members before we open up to the public. I understand there is one vacancy, unfortunately, but to invite the past members to have an opportunity to reapply or rejoin that committee before we go out to the public.
I guess it kind of depends on where we're at and if everyone that would be interested is interested. Because if there are new members or spouses of maybe they weren't aware of it before and now they may be interested. So I do want to just limit it. I just want to make sure everyone that is interested in supporting our veterans has the opportunity to be part of it. And I don't want to limit it to just the past ones that were part of it. Because obviously it dissolved for a reason.
Right. Got it. I think I have a motion. My motion is going to have inviting the past members back. So I'll go ahead and make this motion and then we'll see how it goes from there.
Let's make sure that we because we do have one open position, that we bring this item back. At that moment, we'll appoint the past members, appoint the missing or the open position, and the two new council members on that item.
Mayor.
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You have a comment, sir? Go ahead.
Yes, Mayor, council members. Just to clarify on our on the money that's being allocated, our major money came from ARPA funding a few years ago. That is completely done with. We do have a donation that came in. We do have a donation line that is live. We have a total of $3,633 in that line as of today. So we are leaning not towards going into the general fund because that's where the money would have to come from. I understand that. So I think, with the committee, we're going to have to really get outside and really get donations to move forward with our project. And that's my 100% goal, is to make sure that we do not get into our general fund, and we'll find ways to get these projects done.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
So real quick, as follow up on Joey's talk, it says there'll be no fiscal impact. So what are the ground rules for this committee? I mean, can anybody join, or you have to be a military person, or what is that? And then are they going to be spending city money? Then I think that council should be responsible for approving that, or not citizens.
That is correct. And I think in the motion, we have to be specific. So even if we have to go step by step on this motion to clarify, we'll do that.
And I think, Mayor,
yes,
we need to determine a number of citizens that will be selected for this committee. Right now, it looks like it would be 6 that served previously. Are we going to stick at that? Are we going to stick to that number 6 as well?
That was my question earlier. I mean, I made my recommendation of 2, 2, and 1. It's up to the council. If you guys want to stick with the 6 or go back to my recommendation.
I'm sorry, what was your recommendation again?
It's just 2 citizens, 2 council members, and Joey Chavez, or a staff member in the future.
Okay, so I think with a committee like this, having a little bit more bodies to help us will help us accomplish some of the projects and goals of honoring these veterans. So I like the number. I think number 6 is good.
Does that include
I'm good. I'm good with 5.
Okay.
2 council members and myself.
Okay. Thank you.
So that would be 5 public members, not 6 total. Like 5 public members, one staff member, and 2 council members. Okay, you got that, Martinez? And then any funding to be ratified by the city council, correct?
Well,
and anything else that we want to make sure we clarify?
So under reasons or for recommendations, which recommendations are you implementing?
I'm going to make a motion that we bring back the Military Appreciation Advisory Committee, going out to past members first and adding a second council member. My recommendation will be Casey and Otero, making it 5 citizens, 2 council members, and then our Parks and Recreations manager. and that any expenses from the general fund comes to the city council first.
I'll second that.
Get a roll call, please. Excuse me. Roll call.
Councilmember Casey,
Yes.
Councilmember Vieira,
Yes.
Councilmember Otero,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Martinez,
Aye.
Mayor Lopez.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
We will have to bring an item back for the additional member, correct, in the future city council meeting? Which is the missing position, yeah. Did you get that? And we're gonna have to bring the item back for, yes, Fallon, make sure that we bring this item back at the next city council meeting for the member that unfortunately passed away to fill that position. Okay, can you please say that so that everybody else hears that?
Yes, so we would need to bring this back to open up the application process for the one vacant position. And then should any past committee members not desire to return, we'd also have to open it up to the public for them as well.
Got that, Doug and Fallon?
Yeah, I don't know that it will be coming back the next council meeting if we're going to be conducting a recruitment, waiting to hear back from these individuals. So I would just ask that we get a little time.
I trust that you'll figure out the time. Thank you very much. Okay. No public hearing, no new business, no discussions. We have a council member referral. Item number 9, Sirius Community Foundation discussion. This was requested by Councilmember Otero. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. So I was looking at some history of Ceres, and I did come across the Ceres Community Foundation. This was a foundation that was established in 1994. It's a nonprofit 501c3 organization. It does allow the public to make tax-deductible contributions to projects such as developing cultural, historical, artistic, and parks and recreational facility purposes. So I'm proposing that we bring back a board for this foundation. I believe there are many benefits to reestablishing the foundation, and it gives our residents the opportunity to participate. There are bylaws already in place, so that's going to take most of the work out of establishing a policy behind it. The other critical piece to the foundation committee is the funds do need to be managed, reviewed, and audited. It's important that all the required documentation that's needed by the state entities is current, and correct names of who is managing the funds or listed as board members are also current. In doing my research, it does appear back in 23-24 fiscal years, there was approximately $128,000 in that fund. And just today, our city manager shared that there's $400,000. So this is a great opportunity to utilize these funds in some of our, projects, additional projects in the city. However, the large amount of funding for nonprofit, it needs to be managed by a board. Otherwise, it's going to raise concerns about accountability and transparency when it comes to these funds. But overall, this will benefit our city, and it allows further participation by community members.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there any comments by the city manager at this time?
Julian's very familiar with this board. He's actually resurrected it. And do you want to?
I heard you said there's bylaws to this.
Yes, good evening, Council. So the Ceres Community Foundation, we have one acting board member right now, which is a director of finance. The director of finance can reestablish this committee by appointing 7 directors. 2 would be from the city, a public works manager. The finance director is a lifetime commitment to this foundation. The other 5 are appointed by the director of finance as the acting chair for this foundation, or the acting director. The corporation has to be a standalone account, so it is separate from any funding from the city. So this foundation is separate, does not come to council. The finance report is quarterly, and it is derived by the finance director to produce those financial records on a quarterly basis. The foundation decisions will go through the directors, so the 5 directors will vote on any projects. Those projects will then be displayed and come back just as a notice to the council, but would not need council approval on this foundation. The bylaws are set in the articles of incorporation. There is the articles direct exactly how the membership is to be appointed, how the funding is to be presented. We had council take a look at this way back in, I think in 2024. Last year we had the council take a look at this when we found out that there was the actual foundation. We thought the foundation was dead in the water. But after reviewing it, we found out that we were still active with the State Department. And so we just have to now call a meeting, or actually the Director of Finance will have to call a meeting. At that meeting, then we would have to be able to appoint or make recommendations to appoint individuals to this foundation. The foundation allows for city staff that are residents in Ceres. So that's one of the recommendations. You have to be a city resident. And so we are looking to move this foundation as soon as possible. And then once it is, there is specific goals as to what Councilwoman Otero said, that it is for the beautification of the city. So what is going to benefit the city as a whole, to make, of course, the city of Ceres be more presentable and impactful for our community.
Thank you, Julian. And I just want to kind of put this over to the city attorney. Everything that he just stated as far as the bylaws are concerned makes sense to you?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe that we coordinated with staff in looking at this originally.
So you've already went over and
I
combed through
believe
this and
so.
verified?
Yeah.
So, okay, so you would say that the way that it is established now is current, and that's the only direction that this can actually move forward with. The city council cannot get involved.
Right. Not without the changing of the fundamental rules.
Right. Okay.
If you change the bylaws, then we have to send the new bylaws to the IRS because they have to be approved since it's a 501c3.
Okay. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
Can I ask a clarifying question? The finance director gets to make the recommendations for the, I guess, board of directors or directors. How is that done, and how are these individuals selected?
Under Article 5 of the bylaws, the nominating committee of 2 directors appointed by the board president with approval of the board is supposed to notify so it goes into, because we don't have a board, so the director of finance can call the meeting, and then individuals can make the recommendations for the directors, and then the finance director can then appoint those individuals as the directors of that board.
So how do we get the?
So what we have to do is we have to call a meeting, a general meeting. And at that meeting, we would make those recommendations before. So it'd be, she would have a list of names of individuals that would want to be appointed as the director. And then that would be, the vote would be, obviously, she's the only one. So she would be the only one that would be able to appoint those individuals. Those individuals do have a term limit of 2 years. The treasury, which is the director of finance, is a lifetime appointment.
Okay, Vice Mayor?
Thank you. Juliana, if I'm not mistaken, you said that there's 2 city members, that's the Director of Public Works, so she's not the only one, correct?
That is correct.
So it'd be her and...
So it'd be her and the...
I believe you said that the second member was the Director of Public Works?
It's Parks and Rec, so it'd be Joey.
Okay, so herself and Joey are the 2 sitting members, so they would decide. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. With the, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I might be missing something here, but when they call the meeting and at that time appoint individuals, how are they going to be, how does the public know that we are opening this up to bring in new board directors?
We would have to make a public notification. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'm just going to make a comment that although,
So just make a quick point of clarification. It would have to be duly noticed as a public meeting. In a sense, we'd have to follow the Brown Act for this committee.
thank you very much. I do see Councilwoman Vieira and Daniel Martinez did make a comment, but I just wanted to say, Councilmember Otero, I think this is great that you brought this up, and even to get additional clarification on top of what the city council has previously done. And I do appreciate the city attorney working with the city staff to get this going. And being that we do have almost $400,000, I think that this will be a great opportunity to continue to beautify the city of Ceres. But unfortunately, because of the news that I've just learned, I think that we need to keep it the way it is, and I will be thumbs down on this item.
Mr.
Vice Mayor.
Real quick on Nubia. Regarding this 501c3, it cannot be during business hours. It has to be separate because it's a whole different organization. Is that correct? Or is that considered gifting of public funds if they're doing it on business time?
I don't know if we looked into that specifically. I can, and that could be a direction that we provide if there's an issue of commingling of time, and we staff to make sure that it's separate.
Okay. Actually, just want to make sure before we do consensus that the public gets an opportunity to speak. So that's my apologies. We'll go out to the public. And actually, before we go out to the public, Councilwoman Vieira, go ahead. Just because she pressed her button, I apologize. Go ahead.
I just have a quick clarification. I just want to make sure I heard Julian correctly because I know the speakers aren't always amazing. You said the board members currently have to be members of this, employees of the city and reside in Ceres, correct? So it's limited to city staff that reside in Ceres.
They can be employees of the city. They just have to live in Ceres. So any director has to live in the city of Ceres. If they are an employee that wants to be on the board, they're welcome to. It does not regulate that they cannot, and it does not come from conflict.
Thank you. And then can I ask one more, and maybe a Nubia question just for follow-up? Because I'm not aware of all of the nonprofits, like the chamber meetings, we're not necessarily always invited to. So that's why I'm just wondering when it comes to nonprofits, what is the public notice that's required? Because I know we have a lot of different organizations and I don't get those notices.
There's, I think, provisions in the specific bylaws. That's what makes it subject to that extra noticing. Those type of organization, 501c3s are separate. They're not subject to any specific noticing requirements unless their own bylaws require it. Generally, they don't. But I think this is what I think Julian's looking for now, is that it discusses the nature of it and the nature of the meetings.
While you are looking for that, Ms. Vice Mayor, you pressed your button.
Yeah, I had a couple of follow-ups. The first was, it has to be sent out to the public, and we have to do a notification. Is the 501c3 taking care of that, or is the city going to be, financially responsible for paying for that? My second question was, Julian, you said that the board of directors can be city employees but must live in the city. So does that include our finance director and our Parks and Recs manager?
No, because the director of finance in here, it indicates that director of finance for the city is a lifetime appointment. So it doesn't matter who's in that position. It specifically says director of finance.
Thank you, sir.
That's that. The special meetings are determined by the board of directors, and the time to notify would be determined by the board of directors. So whether it's 10 days, 30 days, whatever that board will determine the notice for those public meetings. Special meetings should be noticed within 72 hours but it's given the direction to the board so whatever that committee is, they would determine when the notices of those meetings would be posted to the community.
Thank you. And I know Serena had an additional follow. Did you get it? Okay. So at this time, we will go ahead and open this up to the public. Members of the public, please step up to the podium.
Hello, Ray Smith, Ceres resident. I would just wonder, would there be any input from the community on this, like what was going to take place for enhancements for the city, or is this going to be completely up to the people that are nominated to it? And then I didn't catch if this went from 100,000 to 400,000. And was this all grant money or money that was raised? Or so just a few questions. Great cause, and I was just kind of wondering, who decides where this money goes and what we're going to do for it. It's a considerable amount of money, and that it's going to do something great for our city. So thank you.
Thank you. And Nubia, you said that being that they would have to, based on the Browns Act, when they do conduct these meetings and it is agendized, there will be a section where the public can make a comment?
There's specific, let me clarify. So the nature of this board doesn't subject it to the Brown Act. It's whatever it's included in the bylaws.
Strictly bylaws. So we just want to make sure.
Bylaws make it clear that there are certain noticing requirements associated with it, and the noticing requirement would be presumably to open this up for the public participation. So I think that is, it has to be held at the principal office. There's annual meetings, there's special meetings. So those are all, there would have to be a component of public participation somehow. I'll confirm that that's the case. But this is structured as like a corporate board in essence, right? That's essentially what it is.
And Julian, he just wanted a clarification that we started off with the 100,000 plus, and now we have 400. Is there anything just off the top of your head that you can remember how we got to the 400? Oh, if not, we will make sure that we provide.
We will have to verify.
Possible.
Check the
That
finance.
was the latest number I got from finance today, and I went, because I didn't know we had that much.
I would hope that the moment that this becomes a full committee, that they will provide that information to the public the moment that it is.
Yes, and when they do, in the past, the committee did get representation from the citizens of Ceres. So there was open forums and open communications on those. From what I understand when reading all the prior or past notes, notifications went out for the foundation. We do have records, paper records from way back in 1998, I believe we have. And so, yeah, so it looked like the community was very involved in this foundation. It wasn't just the board of directors, but it was for the good of the citizens of Ceres.
Okay, thank you very much.
If I could just add one thing. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to you, but go ahead. Is it anybody else? Go ahead, sir.
I guess so. One thing that it sounded like it can't be done through city council because of the way it's set up. So could it be done through city council as far as updates to where people showing up or it gets recorded or that, or just transparency wise, how would that take place? And then it seems to me, I guess if you guys could just have some further discussion on how people could know about this. I know it's hard. You have Ceres Courier. You can't email everybody. I mean, so it's just a little wondering for me, how would we would even find out about that? If you can just have discussion on that, that'd be great.
City manager, at your discretion.
Yeah, we actually started this out. This has been a process ongoing. We're moving it forward and going to be bringing it back to council to talk about it, get moving forward. Councilwoman Otero made a referral, so now we're actually ahead of it before we're really ready to talk about it. So we're still making those decisions, trying to get everything in line before we bring it back.
So you were already working on this diligently?
Yeah, we've been working on this since, July of last year, of trying to resurrect it, get up, and we sent, paperwork over to Nubia, and she handed off to Rachel, who gave her stuff and got, and kind of got us on our right track to get everything moving forward.
All's in your court.
And so, yeah, we're slowly moving forward with it.
We understand government is slow, but if you could speed it up, the community would be very grateful. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Mayor,
Yes, go ahead.
one point that we've been looking at the bylaws specifically, the board of directors can amend their own bylaws in order to provide basically for any kind of internal rules that they would like. One recommendation would be in reconstituting this committee is a recommendation that once that board meets, that they amend their own rules to provide that type of public input and process so that it's codified in their own rules. if there are potential
Finance
goals associated with that. So I think that that is definitely within the purview of the council in reconstituting this, as it's on the condition that you make this more transparent than you have to right now in the bylaws, and that you memorialize that through an amendment to the bylaws.
Thank you very much. Sir, any additional comments or questions?
Just one thing, I wasn't really understanding, is this more to go back and beautify something that's existing, or both? Or is this for like a new project to do something new for the city, or is it geared towards one or the other?
Oh, well, it depends on the bylaws, correct?
It'd be up to the board to make that decision.
So it's all still in progress?
Yes.
Absolutely.
That'd be it. Thank you.
Awesome. Really, thank you very much. Next person, please.
Bernie Meyer, City of Ceres, again. I'm actually very familiar with this foundation. So Debbie Wilson was the president many years back, and I worked with her in the office. I've attended their meetings. I want to put on record that all the funds that we raised for the water tower went into this account. So I have statements from the city and information that shows that all the money that we did for fundraising for the Ceres water tower before COVID was put into this account by the financial director at that time.
The finance director, can you please work with her to try to figure out where the document is? And I'm sure you guys can work together on that. No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, with that being said, unless there's any additional comments. Just want to make sure no additional comments online.
There are no hands raised online.
Okay, I'll bring this item back and I remembered, I know that we felt that it was important for us to go into depth, but we were just looking for consensus with the additional information that we just discovered. Serena, is there any additional comments you would like to make?
Yeah, just one quick thing. I'm hopeful that when this board is reestablished, for the sake of transparency, like everyone's concerned about, maybe there's a website or on the city website where all the financial documents, everything can be placed on there for the public to see.
Okay. City attorney, being that we understand the purpose behind it, is there really necessary for us to continue on with this item? There's nothing really that we can do.
The item, thank you. The item was brought forward as a referral for a discussion. Staff has been moving diligently forward. So as the mayor mentioned, tonight is really just a kind of thumbs up, thumbs down on moving this forward. So that's really the only direction we technically, I guess, don't necessarily have to do that since we're moving forward.
That's what I'm saying. That we don't necessarily need to continue to have a discussion if it's already happening. Is the reason why I wouldn't necessarily do a thumbs up for it.
It's moving forward, and we'll be bringing back additional information.
Either, regardless. Okay. All right, council. We're going to move on if there's actually any additional referrals. Nope. We're going to move on to reports. I have no reports. Mayor, Vice Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say that last Friday evening, myself and the entire council were able to attend the Ceres Chambers 57th, is that right, Brandy? 57th Annual Awards Banquet. I just want to congratulate everybody that was nominated, all the award winners. Howard Johnson Prep did a great job with the food. It was a great evening, so I look forward to next year's.
Thank you. Councilwoman Vieira.
Thank you, Mayor. Just some quick updates on what's going on. Dutch Bros is opening in 2 days. Their official grand opening is Wednesday. I just want to correct, I'm looking at Julian, confirming it's the 28th at 11 a.m. I was told they are opening at 5 o'clock for you early birds that are up at 5 a.m. and want to stop by. Please feel free to be the first one in line. I will not be. I'm just for clarification. I have the Stanislaus Homeless Alliance meeting coming up next week. We're looking at infill projects that are going to be available for multifamily housing and apartments, and I have submitted those questions that they have asked to the city manager, so that way hopefully we can see if we can get on the list. We also have the homeless count, point in time count coming on Thursday, January 29th, and so we already have the resources already set up. Joey's kind of overseeing that here in Ceres, just to make sure we get an accurate count. I know last year they placed us at 18 homeless people. I think I counted 18 alone at Whitmore Park. So I'm interested in seeing what the numbers come out. Yes, Anyways, I also want to thank Sam. I believe this is his last meeting before he departs and retires. And I appreciate everything you've done, your speedy emails, even on the weekends, and everything you've done while I've been here on council. And I appreciate the work that you put in and contribute to the city. I really do appreciate it. So I just want to make sure I took time out and everyone recognized that you're down to your last 5 days, I believe. And so I appreciate everything you've done. Again, the Brandy hosted the chamber dinner, and the MCs were always amazing. I always love Eric and Lisa. They're always a great couple up on stage. And I congratulate to everyone. All the nominees were amazing and contributed so much to Ceres. And some of those are really hard to make some decisions on some of those votes, because although I love the fire department, I know Chief does some amazing stuff, and he deals with all 5 of us constantly. And that's a hard hat to wear. So I appreciate it, but I also know fire is also here, and they're pretty well respond to every call, whether it's medical, fire, accidents, everything. So they both contribute significantly to the well-being of the entire city. Ceres Garden Club, we had a meeting over the last week. They are planning something for Arbor Day and some tree planting here in Ceres. So they're happy with the upcoming event and trees that we plan on getting. I know Joey's overseeing and hoping to have that started and finished here relatively quickly. So I look forward to seeing that move forward. And then lastly, I'm doing a tour tomorrow over at Howard Prep. They did do some more remodeling, so I'm excited to actually see behind the scenes. I did meet with them when they were at the chamber dinner, and I look forward to seeing what updates they have. They are a local business, so always support local business, shop local. And if you can get your catering done here in Ceres, please do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Casey.
Sure. Mine's more of a question of reports. You know, tonight we found out that at first we thought we had 100,000, or there was $100,000 in somewhere in the city's funds. And then later on, we found it was 400,000. Twice before the council, we've asked for a forensic audit, and both times it was turned down. I'd just like the council to reconsider. I can't do it as a referral, but maybe think about that. The other thing is, and this goes to the chief of police, you know, more often than not, we're having weekend people set up camps to cook food. And this last weekend, it was on Roding. 2 weekends ago, it was in front of the Ceres High School. Should these citizens call the non-emergency number and report that? Because what happened with the one across the street from Ceres High School, it was all day. It was from 5 o'clock Friday to I don't know what time, and then again early in the evening to whatever time Saturday, and nothing happened. I was contacted, and they suggested that I call the non-emergency number. And I said, well, you know, there's plenty of police wandering around. Surely they're going to find out. So what is the proper procedure when they see that? Should they call the non-emergency number?
It's a great question. Code enforcement, they are the ones that deal with the illegal vending. Unless they're committing a crime, we aren't going to send an officer out there. So what my recommendation would be to use the GoGov app or the Ask Ceres app and send that to code enforcement, and code enforcement will and have adjusted their schedule to where they come out at night. The problem that we have is we don't have a 24/7 code enforcement. And sometimes these vendors will set up at 11 o'clock at night. So unless we have a 24/7 code officer working there, we're not going to be able to catch them all. Now, for some of the vendors, like the one at Home Depot, when I was working in dispatch, I actually sent an officer out there because they were trespassing. So if we have that, we can send an officer out there, but we are not going to send a armed government agent to somebody that's committing a vending violation. We're going to save that for code enforcement. But based on what I've heard tonight, I will change code enforcement schedule, and we will go out with the county environmental resources and start taking their products when we can and their equipment. And hopefully we'll put a dent in that, starting as soon as I can legally change their schedule.
Chief, and I just would like to add to this, I do understand you actually do have a plan. And I know that the health department has been working with code enforcement so that we do go out there. Obviously, we don't want to give them a heads up. Mr. Casey, I am 100% in support of what your suggestions. We do need to try to figure out a way to either more funding for more code enforcement officers and pay for overtime, hint, hint, Doug, depending on our budget constraint. But the fact that I've heard plenty of times that you, sir, do have a plan to address this issue. And I know that the city of Ceres has been very, very upfront and try to provide education to some of these vendors. But unfortunately, these vendors do not want to work with the city of Ceres. And I believe, Julian, you can answer this question. The fee is not that expensive, right? It's like $150 maybe. And if they go through the process, any vendor is allowed to vend in the city of Ceres as long as they go through the process. But unfortunately, we have other businesses, food trucks that spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, and these vendors are not. And they're making cash money. And I think that at the end of the day, you have a lot of businesses that do want us to enforce it. And being that I know that you do have a plan, I think, Mr. Casey, I'm 100% behind you. And we're always open for suggestions from the city council to try to help improve code enforcement.
And along those lines, I forgot to mention that every time we do issue a citation, the code enforcement provides the information needed to get the permit.
Thank you, Chief. But, as far as using the app, I've used the app several times, and typically the answer automatically is they'll get back to you. And typically, always, it's tomorrow or the next day, and sometimes as often as a week later to see if it's been resolved. So using the app to report something that's happening on the weekend, I guess we can do that, but it's kind of a waste of motions. I'd like to also add that, we have a beautiful cemetery, and it's adding spaces. This is just a report. The chief can probably answer the number of times, but because of the highway design that comes over Whitmore, at least 2 or 3 times a year, someone crashes through the fence. Well, so far that part of the cemetery, there's nothing there except the fence. Well, the cemetery is growing, and pretty soon they're going to actually have people's remains there, personal, family members, veterans. And I would hate for the city to be involved in who's responsible for what. So the cemetery board has asked me to ask the city to consider putting in K-rails to prevent the breaking of, when they come across. Again, it's not their fault. I don't know whose fault it is. It was a poorly designed overpass, and I go by there often, and again, the chief probably could answer the question, but it happens at least 2 or 3 times a year. So I think that Public Works, somebody should look into installing some K-rails to prevent that from happening. Thank you.
City Manager, could you take that note as a referral? You guys can have an offline discussion. I don't want this to get lost because I think Mr. Casey has some information I think that's valuable. Mr. Casey, make sure you contact the city manager for that referral. Make sure we bring it back about the railings. Okay, Councilwoman Vieira, you pressed your button again.
I just wanted to follow up because I did see code enforcement this weekend in the evening. I think I saw them about 7, 8 o'clock out by Walmart. So I do know they're working evening. I appreciate that, Chief. I did see that this weekend. But I just want to confirm there's not a whole lot the city, their hands are kind of tied on what the city can do. It's only the Department of Environmental Resources that can confiscate and do anything when this happens. Or I see Julian nodding. I just want to make sure that we're clear so the public understands when they're calling, our hands are kind of tied on the city side because of the way the laws are currently written.
That is correct. And we do have plans to work with them to confiscate, but we have to follow their rules. And we don't even have a place to store all the equipment, and the county does. So we've done it before, and we will follow up with them.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for everybody. That turned into being a bigger discussion, but that's all right. So we'll move on to the city manager. Do you have anything to add, sir?
I have nothing to add.
Okay, city attorney.
Nothing tonight. Thank you, Mayor.
And we'll go ahead with the departments back on the chief side. Go ahead.
Mayor, members of the council, members of the public. I'm Andrew Hunter, Assistant Chief with the Fire Department. I want to report that last week, the new computer-aided dispatch went live with at SR 911, and this CAD is utilized by all the fire agencies within the county. And one of the huge benefits that I just wanted to point out with this is that it uses GPS to dispatch our fire units. And that's going to help to realize a huge benefit to the public, meaning that the closest fire resource will get dispatched to the emergency within Ceres and the other fire agencies. And this was as opposed to a zone dispatching, which broke up the county within different zones. And we hope to see the benefits of this to the public with reduced response times and ensuring that fire engines get to the scene as quickly as possible, regardless of jurisdiction. There's a number of other benefits to it, but that I just wanted to highlight that. That went live last week. There were a few things that, as this went live, that we were able to correct, and we'll continue to make corrections as they pop up and refine this into the future. But it's a huge benefit. It's been a few years in the making, and we're excited to see this go into effect.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Okay, on this left side.
Yeah, so just really, Dutch Bros is opening on Wednesday, so hopefully you see everybody there at 5 in the morning. Get in line.
So this is not,
it's
5 a.m.
Soft opening at 5, but the ribbon cutting will be at 11 a.m.
But you want us to be there at 11 a.m., not 5 a.m.
Yes,
right?
at 11 a.m.
I just wanted to make sure because Rosalinda kept saying 5 a.m. and I was like, I'll be there, but if you're saying 11 a.m.
No, the grand opening and ribbon cutting is scheduled for 11 a.m. on Wednesday. So
thank you.
Also want to announce that the City of Ceres Economic Development and the Valley Sierra Small Business is hosting a workshop on financing fundamentals on February 10th from 10 to 11. This will introduction to business loans, potential funders, and eligibility criteria. And so notices have gone out to over 300 businesses in Ceres. Also, we are partnering with the Ceres Equity Partners. They are holding a business entrepreneurship 6-week cohort starting Wednesday, February 11th through March 18th. This is going to be held in Modesto at their Modesto office. March, and then in April, they will actually come here to the city of Ceres to do a Spanish and English business entrepreneurship for 6 weeks here at the community centers.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good evening, Mayor, City Council. I just want to point out that the City of Ceres will be holding the 3rd annual free community disposal event. This is scheduled for Saturday, February 7th, and it'll start at 8 o'clock in the morning till 11:45 that Saturday. So if you have any junk, anything, mattresses, tires, if you want to dispose of it, any electronics, they'll be happy to take care of it.
Sam, that is your official last report. And I just want everybody to give Sam a round of applause. That was a great report. Thank you, sir. Joey, good luck following up on that. Any comments? No comments. Thank you very much, everybody. Once again, this is a great meeting. And just want to tell everybody God bless and have a great night. This meeting is adjourned.